I think that a lot of tech companies are more flexible than traditional companies, maybe. So, or they might be remote first as well. So that definitely helps because a lot of times they'll take into consideration that everyone has different times of the day where they're the most productive and they'd rather you just get your job done than have to work for a specified amount of time and very specific hours. And so I think, I mean, to me, that's really important. Like, I'm kind of more of a morning person. I'd rather get up early and get my work done early in the morning and then finish my day a little bit earlier, and have more time to do stuff after work. And I know that a lot of people would rather wake up later and then work. Sorry, there's dogs barking behind me and my mom yelling, but they'd rather wake up later and then like be able to work later into the night. And so having that flexibility can really help. And I think that that's a big thing for work-life balance.
Yeah, I think for me, academia is horrible about boundaries. Like whatever project you were working on, everyone expected everyone else to be a hero. Um, in tech, you can absolutely be a hero. No one's going to stop you. Like if you try and be helpful, people will just assume that you absolutely have the bandwidth. Like no one else is going to take care of you. Um, so it is important to know your boundaries and to enforce your boundaries, and that's something that I think about in work-life balance. Like, okay, this is what I can manage. This is my balance for the day, um, and it's nice that there's no judgment if you're at least at a healthy company, um, as opposed to less functional areas that I have worked in.
Yeah, I have to agree with all the comments having been said already. I think if you're at a good company, you do get the opportunity to choose your own schedule, and relatively speaking, and it's nice. So if you're a morning person and you want to just have it done by 11 a.m. and you start really early, you can totally do that. If you're a late night person or you're somebody that wants to work a little bit later, you can definitely do that. And I think for me, it was having the opportunity to just like say, okay, these are the things that I want to do. These are the things that I need to do. And these are the things that I want to learn. And with those organization, I guess, yeah, organizational skills for the most part, I was able to put them into buckets and say, okay, this is the energy that I have for today. What can I do? Let me take care of all the things that I need to do. And then if I have extra time, can I, maybe learn something new, or can I work on a project that I really enjoy versus maybe something that I don't necessarily enjoy at work as well. So I don't know, just being able to craft your schedule based on the things that you know what to do. And, for the most part, people treating you like adults, I think kind of a nice thing, and it is very, very refreshing, especially in the tech industry.
Yeah, I think what's good about that is that the tech industry isn't new to the whole remote working world and kind of the asynchronous working model. So people have been working like this for a while in the tech world. So yeah, I think even when I first started my career, I started at a tech company, and we did the part of the onboarding process was taking this personality test that helped understand when you worked the best. And basically it described different little characteristics that were types of animals. And myself personally, I did this whole test and came out and decided that I was a wolf. So apparently that was like, you're not necessarily a morning person, but it basically described when your like peak productive hours were for like super creative things and when you should do your administrative tasks. And it was a really good way of just helping align with the rest of your teams too. So your manager knew, oh, this person has this wolf personality, so this is how I should manage them, and this is what I should expect from them. Little things like that. So what was really cool was that it allowed us to all lean into our strengths in terms of when we worked best and when we did certain types of tasks at better times, without the pressure that A manager wanted everybody to work on the exact same schedule. So it was really relieving, especially as somebody in the beginning of my career when I was like, I don't know how any of this works, to be able to understand that. And I think that's something that cool that the tech industry is definitely leaned into a little bit more than some other industries I've seen and been a part of in my earlier life.
But one caveat to that, though, I will say, is that you do have, especially with this work from home hybrid type of model that some people are going into, or like for myself, I completely negotiated myself into work from home forever. The caveat to that is that your lines start to get blurred between what is work-life balance. So for example, right now, I just stopped working before we were doing this, and I'm sitting in the kitchen right now. Like right next to me is the oven, and right next to me is the window, and like my computer is on the kitchen table. So in terms of work-life balance, it's blending a lot more, and I'm running into the issue where maybe sometimes I'm working a little bit too much, or I'm trying to solve a problem or do something way longer than I should probably be doing for that day, and I need to be more comfortable with just letting things go the next day, or finding some sort of ritual or something like that that says, okay, now is the stopping time. Now it's time to go do something else, or just get my mind away from it, or my mind away from like the physical space as well. Because I really do think that like if you're in the same space all the time, you just go nuts. But if you remove yourself from that physical space, like it's a lot easier to switch your brain off and you're doing something else. It's kind of like the shiny squirrel, or the shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, I think the rituals with that is key too, and understanding a little bit more about your environment, kind of figuring that out too, and keeping an open mind when you do that stuff as well too. So like for me personally, when I get to do stuff like 9 to 11 p.m. at night, it's typically stuff that isn't necessary for me to do at work, but it's something that I want to try out or something I want to build, and really takes all my creative power that isn't necessarily something I need to do, but I want to do, type of thing. So it's definitely through trial and error, you kind of figure those things out about yourself too.
Yeah, like I'm a huge believer in the ritual. Like I have a home office with a door, which was like life-changing. But if I go into that home office on the weekend, I get like the stress level immediately creeps back up. So it makes a difference. But even then, like when my work day ends, I go out, I close the door, and I light a candle. And the candle means the workday is over. It's silly and it's stupid, but it helps. Like that's the switch. Whatever works.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's not even so much like a daily thing, because you could argue that my work-life balance is worse now because I'm early in my career and everything. So I feel like I have to do a lot of studying after work, after hours, and a lot of practicing, building my portfolio, things like that. So, side projects, it's not for my job, but it's, work, I guess. However, for me, it's more having the ability to put work second when I need to, when my family needs me, when, when something else is going on, and knowing that my company is supportive of that, and that they give me that kind of flexibility to set those boundaries. And that's what that balance means to me.
Awesome.